Interviews. My name is Ma1neEvent. I'm here once again with my co-host Poetic Snake. How are you doing, Snake?
Good evening, main event. I'm doing well, and you?
I'm doing great. It's been a busy week, but I'm excited to be here, and hopefully it's going to be a fun show tonight. We've got at least one confirmed guest here waiting in the wings, and if you are interested in being on the show tonight, certainly just send me a message through Discord. And we're going to try to have people on who maybe haven't been on the show before as a preference, but if you have been on the show, that's totally fine too. If we have some time near the end of the show, we're always happy to have different members of the Steemit community come on the show, kind of tell us your story, what brought you here to Steemit, where you're from, maybe how long you've been on the platform, and what you're using Steemit for, and kind of what you think of it so far, and things like that. So we're certainly happy to have you. Just send me a message on Discord. My name is Ma1neEvent again. We just spell it with the number one. And certainly send me a message, or Poetic Snake. You can send her the message as well, and she'll let me know, and we'd be happy to have you on. So let's head over to the audience chat room, which is located in the Peace, Abundance, Liberty Discord server. That is the home of the Minnow Support Project. So if you'd like to head over there with us, you can chat along in the chat room. And that way you can, ask questions, interact with us here on the show live, and we are happy to have you in there. And as you can see, our first guest is going to be Roland P, as it's spelled on Steemit, and he's going to be our first guest on the show tonight. So we're certainly excited to have him. And let's see who's in the audience chat room right now. I see Saipan, I see Stace, Claiborne, Roland's there as well. We're just getting going here, so it'll probably take a couple of minutes to get some people into the audience chat room. But those of you who are here, welcome and thank you for joining us tonight. Snack, what's new in your Steemit world? Anything you want to bring up or mention?
I'm just having a good time, like always, really, doing some different kind of posting, trying to find a new direction to go in, perhaps.
Yeah, we were kind of talking about that earlier today. Sometimes you just need almost a little bit of a break, or I don't want to call it like Steam it burnout, but if sometimes if you're on here all the time, especially if you're using like Discord and things like that, then sometimes you have to take a break, and that's okay, or change directions, like you were saying.
Yeah, I think I am seriously suffering of a bad case of steam burn down, and I just need some new inspiration and trying to focus on a little bit other things that I can do on the platform to motivate myself and eventually motivate others as well.
All right, well that's great. And let's see. And do you want to mention for people who may not have heard about it yet the dolphin cocoon?
Oh yes, I sure want to mention that. I made a Discord server and a community called the Dolphin Cocoon. It's a place for those who are dolphin or either have high reputation, and in the future I hope to do great things with that.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, like we were mentioning before, it's nice for the people who have been on Steemit for quite a while to have a little sub community to go to. Of course, we always want to support the minnows and people like the Minnow Support Project, and we always want to help new members. That's a given. But sometimes having places for those that have been on the platform for a while, I'm sure, will be a very nice thing for them. So.
Yeah, I agree with you. And of course, there needs to be a lot of attention for the new members because they have a lot to learn. And it's important that they get the right guidance and help when needed. But I also wanted to give a place for those, like you said, who have been here longer and having contests and curation aimed at them. While I will still keep saying to all the members in the Dolphin Cocoon to keep helping the minnows.
Absolutely. Yep. All right. Well, again, welcome to the show. Those of you who are just joining us here, my name is Ma1neEvent. This is the Ma1neEvent Interview Show. This show does air as part of MSP Waves, which is a radio station network that's been created under Minnow support. And you can find all of the radio shows on mspwaves.com. There's shows every day from Steemit users just like you. So if you're interested in hearing the other shows, some of them are music based, some of them are Just all kinds of different topics on there, different people doing shows. So check out the full schedule at mspwaves.com. You can also follow them on Steemit. It's msp-waves. And again, that of course is part of the Minnow Support Project, and that can be found in the Peace, Abundance, Liberty Discord server on Discord. So again, happy to have you all here. I see Lexiconical out in the audience. I see Menno, who helped get us on the air tonight with our show handover. Thank you, Menno.
Thank you for that, Menno. You did a wonderful job.
Rico's out in the audience. Thank you for joining us. So let's go ahead and bring our first guest on the show. Roland, how are you doing, sir?
I'm quite all right. Thanks a lot for having me.
And I'm saying your name correctly, right?
Yeah, sure. You
Okay.
can say Roland, but that's really Dutch. So Roland P. Is, I listen to that. If you shout that in a big room, then I will hear you calling me out.
Well, we're happy to have you on the show tonight, and we'll kind of ask you the same questions we ask everybody else. So I usually start out with, so tell us where in the world you are this evening.
I'm at home in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands tonight.
All right.
Yeah, sitting behind my desk, watching a Bitcoin ticker going up and down.
Yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride so far. So how long have you been on Steemit?
I started steaming 1 week after the 4th of July, I think, last year. So
Okay.
I think 7th of July, something, 2016.
Okay, great. So you've been on for quite a while now. And do you remember what brought you to Steemit? Like, what was it that, how you found out about it, or what brought you here?
Well, that's very easy, because I'm still thankful for this guy who posted on Facebook, the other social network, the formerly known as the social network. He posted his introduction post. His name is Beer van Geer, or Beer van Geer. He's not so active anymore on Steemit, but he was. And his introduction, he's a friend of mine, and his introduction led me to Steemit. And then the first thing I thought, what's this site all about? I see all these dollar signs, I don't understand. And then I draw an early conclusion. Oh, you have to post content and you get money. Well, and just a half a year before that, I was into Ethereum mining. And I thought, oh, so here you can just post content and get rewards. And well, then I was off to not such a good start by making super crappy posts and not giving the attention and dedication Steem obviously deserves. And well, I changed that. So, but yeah, that's about it. I came through a friend of mine.
Well, and that's great to hear. And I think we all kind of had, well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people, myself included, when I first joined, yeah, I didn't post the best things. And I, to be totally honest, don't feel like I still post the greatest things, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to improve my skills as a blogger. But it's kind of almost overwhelming when you first join Steemit, because you, like you were saying, when you first see it, it's like, oh, all these possible dollar signs and all these things that you could maybe get. And so you kind of dive right into it. And so you've kind of evolved now to promoting Steemit, right?
Yeah, that's correct. So what I found after a while, or so my first post, I'm really not proud of it. It's like maybe it was about the 10 news pictures of the day. It was plagiarism, actually. And then there was not yet, there was not yet the bot. What's the bot of NAX? I forgot the name now, but
Cheetah?
Yes, of course, the Cheetah bot and others. They were not there, and that was super bad. And then people started saying, "Hey, man, you shouldn't do this. It's not really gonna work out." And then I also found out about it, and then I thought, "Hey, I'm more an app builder kind of guy, and I really like to hack stuff together. So why not make a cool app for Steemit?" And that's what I did. And I worked for a couple of nights next to my regular job on an app, which was called Steem Stream, and it was one of the first apps. I think going more mainstream on Steemit, and then what it did was showing real time the blockchain activity, like a waterfall coming from the top of your screen. And I thought, yeah, this is going to be really something. And then in the end, it worked out, and it got to super trending post. So then I thought, okay, this is really got to write about what you like, and or in this case, make something what you like, and then share that with the community, and also share maybe how you did it, and yeah, that gets rewarded.
Now, do you think, in your opinion, that Steemit will eventually kind of evolve into all these other apps and things like that, or do you think it will be more of like the website, or where do you see it going in that regard?
Well, I really like it that that you have on the one hand the blockchain, and then on the other hand the interfaces to the blockchain, and also that people are trying to come up with new ways to utilize the blockchain. For example, the hugely famous and popular Utopian project is, of course, really cool. Well, you could say it is a hack on one hand, because it's using the original vision of having a blogging, using that for some other kind of content, code in this case, but really cool to see that. I don't know where it's going. I know Steemit, of course, are releasing their own interface for mobile. I'm really looking forward to that, although the eSteam app is already very good, of course, to consume the content. But to be honest, I don't know where it's going to go. Of course, we see maybe what will happen with the smart media token introduction. I read that DTube will start launching their own token to move away from the inequality kind of which exists, right? If you are very small, there's not really a chance. It takes a long time to become a whale, or to make a fresh start with a fresh token, but still running on the same blockchain. I don't know what that's going to bring, but it's certainly exciting.
Yeah, it definitely seems like there's a lot of things happening out there. I mean, there's all these different projects that seem to be popping up, and it's good to see it growing for sure. So tell us, what do you like to write about on Steemit? Do you do much blogging on the actual Steemit platform and through your blog?
Well, to be honest, I haven't written much about on Steemit beyond Steamfest for the past half a year. I made myself this deal that half a year ago, I made myself the deal, or I said, okay, now I'm only going to blog about Steamfest, and then you know that. So also because I get some votes in from people who support the general Steamfest idea, and then all those funds get forwarded. So now I'm kind of anxious to write something normal, so to say, because I don't want to take the reward pool, but through automated votes. So yesterday I posted my last thing about Steamfest. But before that, before Steamfest, I wrote a lot about apps, and I made a couple of apps, of course, for Steemit last year, and the app overview page, Steam Tools, which currently there is a better project in the making called Steam Projects, actually. So I wrote about that quite a lot, and yeah.
Well,
And then after that, it was all about Steamfest.
So you got to tell us about Steamfest then. I know you like you said, it's been your whole life for quite a while, but you got to tell us a little bit about it, I think. So tell us, so were you the organizer of the first Steamfest too?
Yeah, so Steamfest started when we were house sitting last summer in a small town near Amsterdam. We were sitting in a house or house sitting a house. Sorry. And the house didn't have, it's a little bit long story, but then I can make it short. The house didn't have
take your time.
A washing machine, or, is that what you call it? Yeah, a dishwasher. So I had to do the dishes by hand. And then, well, it got me thinking, this whole Steam community, not only the writing and the discussions and but also the chat rooms before Discord. There was TeamSpeak, and then it still exists, of course, but then it was on another thing. I don't remember the interface. And of course, Steemit.chat, and there was such a lively discussion going on. And also through the articles, you really got to know people, but only online. But you really get this weird connection, social interaction and connection with people you've never met in real life. And to me, that really resembled the early days of Twitter 10 years ago. And then you also started following, there was a more local group, in my case, Amsterdam and Rotterdam people. And it was like a group of 50 people or so. And you knew all these tiny, super personal details, because it was the first time people really shared those status updates in Twitter's case, those status updates about their life online. And so people knew that I was gonna get my wisdom tooth pulled by the dentist, and other people said, I don't know, it's just these weird random facts, but which make you get to know people really personal. And then we had the first Twitter meetup where you got to meet those people in real life. And that was like a magical moment, because you already knew so many people, and you knew them, of course, only by their, in this case, the Twitter handle, also the @username. And and you recognize the avatar, and then it's just a bizarre start. And from that came nothing but good. Even not in my case, but children, well, maybe also a little bit. My girlfriend was also on Twitter, but children were born through those Twitter meetups. I mean, people who got married and stuff. So that got me thinking, we should really do something more like on a global scale, because the Steemit community is a bit more globalized. Of course, you have these local meetups, but doing something where people could meet each other in real life. And then I sent out a small proposal to Steemit Inc., to Netta and Dan at that moment. They were still together. And they said, well, we are really busy building the blockchain, software updates, the hard forks. But we will definitely support it. So we won't organize something like that, but we will definitely support it. And so then after this initial proposal, I think 13 weeks thereafter, Steamfest 1 was happening already in Amsterdam, with so much support from whales, upvotes on posts, sponsorship from the Steemit Inc., and help from many people. And that was really awesome, with almost 200 people in Amsterdam. And then after that, people almost 2 months thereafter, they said, hey, when is the next edition gonna happen? And I was like, oh wait, let's wait for a bit longer, okay. And then the new Steamfest 2 slowly started to form. Well, actually, there was plans of a Steamfest in the United States in last July, but that location got cancelled, and then we had to postpone, and then set up for Lisbon. And now it's the weeks after Steamfest, and early next year, starting to work for version 3, I guess.
Well, that's an amazing story, and it's really incredible, isn't it, how this Steem blockchain and all of that has been able to make all of that happen and bring all of these people together. That's really incredible. And I'm sure it was a lot of work to plan those events too. I'm sure there was a lot of details you had to work out and work with the venues and all those things. And so did you do a lot of it on your own? You must have had like a few people helping you with that?
Yeah, so the preparations I did by myself. I went to Lisbon for 4 or 5 times this year. But then during the event, I had 10 people led the firepower crew is their moniker, and it's about 10 people helping out with the check-in. It's like the volunteers who did all the guiding with the buses, and I couldn't do it without them. But generally for the venues, that's like a one-man job. To keep it also a bit, how do you say, price worthy, or
Cost
I want to
effective.
have cost efficient, right?
Yes.
That's it.
Yeah.
And I really looked into having a turnkey event location, so and not like a location where you have to bring in all the lighting, audio, visuals, but more locations where they have already a catering supplier and stuff like that. But still, I want to have unique venues, and I think the past two editions have shown that that is certainly possible. Because I really don't like hotel conferences, to be honest. I just don't like it to have a conference inside a hotel. But that's just me, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's really awesome that you're doing all of it, I think. I mean, I wish I could have gone this year. I live over here in the States, but if you ever do one in the States, I would certainly be there, absolutely. Or really, even in North America, I think I could swing that, but Lisbon was just a little bit too far for me this year.
No, I really understand it. It's totally understandable, and therefore I also feel the obligation to have it a traveling event, that it's every time somewhere at another place. So as said, the original idea was already to have one in the US, so I guess there will be one, and therefore, since it's also such a community event, or community funded also partly through the reward pool, I feel obliged to have live streaming available. And next edition, the live streaming should also be a little bit more interactive, so that also people joining the live stream should also be able to ask questions, which we forgot to do this year. But no, yeah.
You guys did a lot, though. I mean, I watched some of it as it was happening when I could, and I've gone back and watched, a number of the speakers' chats afterwards and everything. So, no, I think you guys did a great job. It's still something new. You're obviously going to try to improve every year, but for what you did and what I could see as a viewer of the live streams and the content that came out afterwards, it seemed like everybody had a great time, and, I learned a lot from listening to the people that spoke there.
Yeah, but the live streams, they don't give they give only like 30% of what the event is all about, because
Right.
it's basically about bringing all the people together. And then of course there is a conference, and people can have the stage and talk about their projects, or we have the discussions, and especially all the Steam really everybody was great. Let me put that up front, but it is really useful for the Steam panels, where people from Steemit Inc., the guys who are developing the blockchain and the website and the projects, there's not so many chances that you can talk to these people. And originally the panels for Steemit, they were both like scheduled for 30 minutes, but since there were breaks afterwards, and there were so many people asking questions, then we just gave them a lot of extra time, as much as possible as the schedule allowed for. And then so that's the talks, and then the people meeting each other. I mean, after the event there's the dinners, and then some social event at night, and the weekend afterwards. That was really cool to see that. Last year it was 1-day conference and 1-day touristy event, so unconference, that people really could also see the city where they were going, as 70% had never been in Amsterdam, and maybe even 85% had never been in Lisbon this year. So this year we did the conference on Thursday and Friday, and then a closing dinner on Sunday. So basically forcing people to stay for the weekend and forcing them to also explore the city. And during the two conference day, I try to notify people during the announcements, sometimes in between. Hey, don't forget, huddle up, find some people, check what you're gonna do. We had a list of tips what people could do, but also had their own initiatives like surfing, and people did the road trip through Portugal on the Saturday. So that is really cool to see the people there's also the big social aspect of the event, and that really came to fruition this year.
Yeah, definitely. It was exciting seeing everybody's posts on Steemit when they would take a picture, with somebody that they saw there that they got to meet for the first time and things like that. It was really fun to, to read those posts and everything. So I can only imagine how fun it would have been to be there and to just experience it because, most people seem to have an overall positive experience with Steemit. There are a lot of creative, interesting people on the platform, and so when they all come together, I'm sure it's amazing.
Yeah, definitely. And also the art exposition was really cool. This year we got a venue for 5 days during the whole event. And there were about 135 A3, so that's 40 by 30 centimeters or 1.5 feet or something, I guess, by 1 feet, prints of the various artworks which are shared under the art hashtag on Steemit. And that was really cool. So it was like a pop-up art gallery. And it was just great to see all those works together. And at the end of the event, at the closing dinner, those artworks were shared. People could pick one, and then they had the name of the artist on it. So I suggested that people would write to the artist and say, "Hey, I got your artwork from Steamfest. Great work. Here's a little tip for you." And helping those artists who couldn't be there. Some were there, but not everybody, obviously. That was also really cool to see that big art gallery. Last year was like 10 prints on just from laser printer, and this year it was a huge room. It was also open to the public for the 5 days, so it was not just for the attendees, but it was on a general location where anybody could just check out and also learn a little bit about Steemit through that exposition, because it had some info panels about Steemit as well.
I'm sure Poetic Snake would have loved the art gallery at Steamfest because she's an artist as well. So my co-host here, Snecky, are you there with us?
Snecky, did you submit one or not? I don't know all by heart, to be honest.
The first year I did submit. Yes, I did, and I would have loved the art gallery for sure.
Well, let's check in with the audience here. We've been chatting here for about a half hour. We're visiting with Roland P. We really appreciate him joining us on the show tonight. My name is Ma1neEvent. Of course, I'm with my co-host Poetic Snake, and we are really grateful to have you all here with us on the show tonight. This is the Ma1neEvent Interview show. It's about 5:30 Eastern time here. What time is it where you are, Snack?
It's 11:30.
11:30, and that's probably the same time for you, Roland, right?
Yeah, we are still in the same time zone.
Yeah. So it's getting late for you guys, but it's still early here. But we're grateful to all the people that are listening out there. I know some of them are probably listening through different sources of the show. We have it on in Discord. I think it airs on Twitch and a few other places, and of course at mspwaves.com. And we appreciate you all listening. Who's in the audience chat room right now? Let's see.
I see one question from Jack.
Yeah, absolutely. Go right ahead. That's what I was going to get to, is some questions, so feel free. Yeah.
So Jack is asking whether how the selection worked with the Art at Steamfest exposition, as he wants to be part of the next event. So how it worked this year and also last year is basically that we opened up a form where people could upload a high-resolution version of one of their artworks, and then they were to choose their own best artwork. So it was limited to one artwork per artist. And then we were originally planning to make a selection together also with the people from the Garden of Eden, as they helped out quite a lot with especially Everlove, and on location also Sarah Miller and Quinn Eaker, I mean. But then I visited the artwork exposition location only 3 or 4 days before the event started. 1.5 weeks before the event started, sorry. And then I found, wow, this place is huge. And then I said, well, we can just print and hang all of the artworks. So then there was no selection. But the original idea was that Everybody would submit, and with a panel of curators who would be on site, they would select the ones we would print and hang. So anyone will be able to submit, most probably, if we do it again next year, and I think we should.
Yeah, that's really awesome. Sneck, you had another question that someone else had asked, right? You would grab that for me. What was the question?
Yes, I have a question from Saipan Damashi. He's wondering what Roland would personally consider a success on Steemit.
It's a tough question.
What I would personally consider a success.
Like I wonder if does he mean like as a user, like a successful user?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, if you want to take that one, Roland, that's kind of an open question. I don't know how I would answer that, but that's kind of everybody will probably have their own opinion on that, but you can answer if you'd like.
Yeah, I think you have success on Steemit when you write about the things you love and you're passionate about, and especially when then people acknowledge that and start to recognize that, and you would have a meaningful conversation with those people. I think that's the main reason, or the best part of Steemit, is that you can meet and have a discussion with people about any topic you like or don't like. Yeah.
It's a tough question. I don't know how I would answer that either, but yeah, I would probably put it in similar words. I mean, it seems like the people who are successful on here are the ones that network and that reach out to other users and actually, curate other content, or, they actually come into these communities like on Discord and places like that, or even Steemit.chat or places like that. When they reach out,
how to be successful on Steemit? Yeah, I would say so. Then I would refer to my introduction blurb, which dealt about that at first I did some crappy content, and that didn't take off. And then I started to do something I'm good at, and I started to reach out to people. In my case, I made an app for Steemit, and then I started to reach out to people who could give me feedback. In my case, or in other people's case, it could be people who write about similar things and start a discussion about that. But yeah, and mainly it is about writing about things you love, right? Instead of just writing because you need to have text on a screen so people can hit that upvote button.
Exactly. Yes, I completely agree. And your posts are going to come out better too if you're putting some passion behind it and it's things you care about and that you love, like you're saying. People who just get on there and just share something and there's no passion in it, you can usually tell that they didn't really spend much time on it, or that there's just nothing there. There's no substance. So yeah, I agree. If you're going to want to kind of make it on the platform, you got to do some extra things and write about things you care about. Of course, that's all just our opinion. Everything on this show is just our opinion, of course, but you got to it works different for everybody. That's what's wonderful about Steemit. It's not the same for every person, really, at all. Don't you agree?
Right, definitely.
Well, let's check in with the audience here again. Does anybody else have some more questions for Roland? Do you have any? So the big popular question I see is, where is Steamfest next year? But you may not know that quite yet, probably, and you probably don't want to reveal that quite yet.
No, there were some ideas, but I asked all the attendees actually send out a feedback form 3 days ago. I also want to hear about their thoughts. Menno was saying for
right. Would
okay,
you
can
ever
all shout where you want, and then one with the most votes will be the location. Okay.
Well,
No.
I was thinking you
but
could
yeah,
do
I really give weight to the people. I also asked people, how many times have you been? If you've been twice, people are really dedicated. Let's see also what the original 300 attendees say. But yeah, the idea is to have it traveling. So most probably it will be in a different continent than Europe. So
Well, I'm sure you could always do posts on Steemit or something too, or a poll somewhere, or something like that, and get some feedback. I'm sure from the community and see where people want to go this time. I mean, it would be cool if you'd come to North America. I'm gonna say it. You know,
where in North America? Where is the States or?
I would prefer the States. I live in the States, but I mean, I would probably go anywhere in North America. If it ended up in Canada or in Mexico or something like that, I would probably go. But the States would be wonderful. I know a lot of people would love to have it in the States, but I'm sure we've got a lot of international people listening too. So Europe had it
Yeah, I
twice.
mean, it is. I mean, the people from the US are very dedicated. I think most of the people from a single country this year were from the US, to be honest. And then the UK and then Germany in this year's event. So, I mean, that's the biggest stake of people was already people from the US, and they traveled all the way from the US to come to Steamfest to Europe. So, I mean, that's. I'm not going to talk any further about where it should be or could be, but
Right. Yeah, no, I don't blame you. But of course, I saw a bunch of people asking that. Sneck, you said you saw another question out there?
Yes, Pensive had a question. I have to pick it up again. One moment.
yeah, I saw the question from Pensive as well. So it deals partly about the live stream. So have you thought about having simultaneous mini Steamfest in each continent, all linked up with live streams? So it will be easier for a lot more people to participate around the world without the big cost of travel. So I really like that idea. I still really like the idea of having as many people in real life together as possible, even better, because it's all sometimes also all about people connecting in real life. Nonetheless, I really want to have more interaction with the people on the line. Also, I think this year there were some small gatherings by people. For example, I think in Nigeria they had in Lagos, sorry, they had a meetup, and they were just watching all together the live stream of the event, and then having and that's super great. And if there would be a way of stimulating or supporting that more officially, I would definitely want to look into that. But and there are also people asking, hey, let's do a Steamfest more often, but it's also a burden or a big cost, as you also say, Pensive, to travel. So I think having a not too much iteration that people have to decide, oh, should I go to this one or should I go to that one? I want to bring as many people together as possible, and then, well, within certain limits, of course. But yeah, I hope you see what I mean.
Yes. Oh, I do. And I think having it just like once a year keeps it special too. It keeps it unique. You know, if you did it like every 6 months or every 3 months or something, it would, it wouldn't be as, the build up wouldn't be there, and that's what I think helps too, is everybody kind of can plan and look forward to it. And, when you announce where it is, people can start to make preparations to all be there. And, that's great. Now let's
Yeah,
see.
exactly.
Go ahead.
So this year was almost too long. It was like half a year before announced, and then I almost had the idea, whoa, is it maybe too early to announce? But yeah, it was a super long, how do you say, build up.
Right. I mean, yeah, but it's good for people though, because not everybody can, like Pensive was saying, traveling is expensive. So if people have a decent amount of time in advance, they can kind of start saving. Maybe they could even do posts on Steemit talking about why they want to go, and things they're going to hope to see there, and things. There's always things you can write about on Steemit. So that could be one too, maybe, or things like that. But it's good to give people a little bit of time to prepare to travel if they're going to need to. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I was thinking about having some kind of a saving plan app or something. So I could make a small app you could run locally, and then you would put every month a little bit into a savings account in your Steemit savings account, and then save up for Steamfest for your trip or something.
Yeah.
Would be funny to have.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. And so, saving for a trip is always a good idea. So, probably people should just start doing that now. I mean, it's going to be somewhere. So, if you're really anxious to go and you want to go, yeah, I mean, I'm going to try to go next year no matter where it is, as long as I can get the time off and things like that. I would certainly love to be there because like I said, it looked like it was a lot of fun. It certainly looked like people learned a lot and were able to meet people and communicate with them face to face. And, like you said, you had social things and dinners and all kinds of things. Gmux is in the audience. Gmux got to go to Steam Fest, so I'm sure he can attest to how good of a time it was there. We had him on the show recently, and he told us about his experience, and he said he had a wonderful time. So you're
Great. But I see Pensive asking question about would it be the same if it would be 1,000 people, and that's one of the things I already discussed internally with some people who helped out, for example, with Terry, and that's something that will be like a challenge. The challenge would be to have an event where you can keep the coziness. And yeah, I know some people here. I used to do the hospitality school for hospitality administration. So I'm next to a coder. I also used to organize events. So I have some friends who are still professionally like a day-to-day in event jobs. And also here in the Next Web, it's like South by Southwest for Europe. It's called the Next Web Conference. It's always every year in Amsterdam. A couple of friends or acquaintances of mine, which I used to share office with a long times. So I will definitely run that also by them and having feedback on ideas. But I think next year, if we would get to 500 people, that will be really cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think it will grow every year. Assuming that the platform's still here and we're all still steaming, I would assume that event would continue to grow, and it'll probably get better every year, and you'll get more people who are interested, people that want to help out, the different speakers, I'm sure, and things like that. And of course, like you said, it's going to be a traveling event, so you'll get to experience different things in all the different locations. And yeah, it definitely sounds amazing. I don't know of any other social media platform that I've ever experienced that I would have probably wanted to hop on a plane and go meet people that I've never met before. But Steemit is different for me, and hopefully that's a good sign for other people as well, that they would want to do the same thing.
Yeah, I truly hope so. But the past two editions have shown this. And for me, it's just super cool. I mean, I used to work for arts event, and 1 second, I have to ask my girlfriend one thing.
No problem. Everybody, you're listening to the Main Event Interviews show. We're visiting with Roland P. right now. We've shared his Steemit profile a few times in the chat, so feel free to check out his blog. He is one of the main organizers of Steamfest. He's the one who created it and gets that going. So we're really happy to have him on the show. And of course, I think a bunch of us are going to want to go to Steamfest next year.
Okay, sorry. It was we had the
problem.
door open and our baby boy is sleeping. So I asked my girlfriend if she could maybe close the door.
No problem.
But as I was saying, I used to help organize an arts event here in Holland, in The Hague, another city. And with Arts Fest, or Art Festival, it's called 2 Days Art. It heavily depends on the cultural funding or subsidies. You have, I think, governmental funds and NGO funding, and funding through embassies. And it was always a struggle to to have the event work and even pay people like suppliers because it was all these bizarre performances we had and in great locations, but it was always super difficult. And in the end, it always to organize something for this in the crypto space. I mean, it's not like I get millions of dollars thrown at me and people say, "Hey, do this and just organize it and get all the people together." But I mean, I do get some support from created. or they are like the main sponsor actually, and also 10 whales have supported for the past 2 years. And that really makes you, as an event organizer, you can go to locations and really check them out. And I mean, you can really go there and see, okay, I could really organize the event here. It's not out of the budget, or of course it's not like I still want to make deals with all the locations. But that's also really cool that you can come up with a plan and say, oh, it would be cool if we could do it there, and then maybe go there, and then hey, it it's not only it would be cool, but we can actually make that happen. And so that's really cool and rewarding to see that in the end, that if the locations I picked during the couple of visits to Lisbon prior to the event, and then see that it works and that people are having a good time. And then, yeah, that's really cool and rewarding for me, because I didn't see that much of all the presentations because we're just running around and keeping the event going, always exiting the dinner at the first course to go to the social event location for the evening, and leaving all the people enjoying their meal. And yeah, really cool to see it all, and especially afterwards to read all the posts and see how people experienced the idea you wrote in your head, well, in the months prior to the event.
Yeah, and that's all amazing. And I know a lot of people greatly appreciate what you're doing. There's some people in the chat giving you shout outs. Sir Lunch the host says hello. Big ups, he says. Gmux says that he really enjoyed meeting you at Steamfest. So it sounds like a lot of people, are definitely appreciative of what you're doing. So I say keep it up.
Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. I want to chat something, but then well, I can just say it. Really cool. Thank you. I'm really a cool dude, eh, Gmux?
Yeah, and I'm sure probably as you do more of these, more people will be willing to kind of volunteer to help you. Like you were mentioning, you were kind of running around the whole time and everything, and of course that's the job of the event organizer and things, but hopefully you'll be able to maybe enjoy some of it a little more as these go on, because you'll get more people kind of under you helping you out a little bit maybe.
Yeah, that's true. So this year, well, last year, it was really cool actually. The firepower crew, the team of almost, well, originally 8 people helping out, was, except for one, the same crew as last year. So that was really cool. They could all make it again, and they really all wanted to make it also again. And then I had a house arranged for them so they could all sleep together at Airbnb. And then Firepower said, "Hey, I have these 2 friends. They're coming in from India. We have one room left. Can they stay in the room?" And they said, "Yeah, sure. It's up to you." But I originally only said I hired it for 8 people. So if there are any trouble, you have to deal with it. And in the end, there were no trouble. But then also in the end, they helped out because there was a little bit more work to do. And so they just said, okay, in exchange for the rooms, they also started to help out. So I hope in next editions that team will join me again, because they know the whereabouts and what to do and what not to do. And also the team should be not too big, but also not too small, obviously. But I had to also cancel a couple of offers from people, because there were many people who were saying, "Hey, can I help? Can I help? Can I help?" And yeah, too many is also not
right. Exactly. Yeah, as long as you got that core group of people who who you trust and that will help you out and do a good job. That's the key thing to make the event run smooth. I've worked in the past in catering jobs and event planning things too, and so yeah, I totally understand having a good team is crucial to that, I'm sure.
def.
All right. Well, it looks like everybody's still here in the chat and everything. Rulin, we don't want to keep you too long, but you're welcome to stay and talk with us as long as you want. This show technically goes for 1 more hour. I do have a couple other people who, if they want to be on the show tonight, they're interested, but I only want to keep you as long as you want to stay. So if you need to get going or anything, certainly just let us know, okay? And let's see here. So, if you are interested in being on the show on another episode, certainly let me know. Just send me a message through Discord. My name is Ma1neEvent. This is the Ma1neEvent Interviews show. It's airing on MSP Waves Radio. Jack was wondering what you think of MSP Waves Radio, Rulin. Have you really heard much about it beyond this show?
No, I hadn't prior to Snacky inviting me a couple of weeks ago. I must say, I really, I have a huge lot of respect for the whole MSP Minnow Support Project community and the whole project. I mean, it's super cool what you guys do, and I must say that I've been so busy the past half year, and before that as well, with my regular job, because I also still do, although it's super lagging, make some mobile apps for like clients, but I just didn't find time to do it anymore. I wanted to say that so the delegation part for me with my own Steam Power has not yet been fulfilled, and I want to make it up this maybe still, but as a, how do you say, a New Year's resolution.
Oh yes, yeah.
I really want to write a small app where I can, I don't know, where people maybe can, where projects, because so many projects reaching out and asking, hey, do you want to delegate? Do you want to delegate? And then I think I want to make some kind of a automated app where on a rolling 30-day base, you can I can delegate portions of the Steam Power to several projects, because I figured that would be a really cool way to reward all those projects. I really want to do something with it, because I still don't do anything with that. But
yeah, that would be awesome. It seems like delegation, it's becoming a more hot topic around Steemit lately. It's becoming, it seems like it's growing in momentum, where people are wanting to delegate. There's more people seem to be doing it. At least that's from my perspective. I could be wrong on that, but
people starting to understand the concept, I think, because the upvoting or people asking for votes part, or follow my votes, that was the original phase, and now people who are more into they understand the concept of voting and the rewards, and Steam Power also. I mean, actually the vests, and then with I think it was last hard fork or hard fork before, I forgot, when the delegation was added, and because of some people asking, as you guys even later support page to a Steam Connect URL, so people can actually, because Steemit still doesn't offer the possibility, right, in the interface to delegate through the interface. So now with that Steam Connect URL, it's also quite easy to set up. So that's, but that's cool. Yeah, it's really growing, and also because then they write about it a lot. So wow, we got, I don't know, 3 million Steam Power delegated to our account. That's really cool, and then people get notion of what delegation is all about.
Yeah, and the people who have accumulated some Steam Power, like you were saying, they get it. They understand that helping other people is really a big part of what Steemit is about, it seems like. And helping some of those people who are not only creators but curators as well. They're actually going out there and voting on people's content and finding that good content on Steemit and supporting it. Delegation to those people, really helps a lot of people, because I was a recipient of some delegation early in my Steemit life, and because of that, I was able to go out and become a curator and start voting and helping lots of other people. So it was through that delegation that really got me going. So, delegations are a big thing for Steemit, I feel like, anyway. And are you of that opinion as well?
Yeah, totally. And therefore I feel a bit ashamed that I don't do anything with it as of yet. So hence my resolution to really do something with it. But then also want to not be biased and maybe open up some kind of a forum or a place where people can apply for it, and as said, then maybe have like set amounts, like 10K and 10K, and then put that on a rolling 30 days, and then reevaluate. And if there are projects, maybe asking for some support, and then something like that. So it's like it's a transparent way of supporting multiple projects.
Yeah, and that's amazing. I think, what
And then also maybe having people pitch for it, or not per se pitch, but maybe like having an overview where people supply. Okay, I'm requesting X amount of delegation for Minnow support project. This is what we do. So then I also have an interview, or another interview, but an overview of what projects are being supported or maybe in the pipeline of being supported, and then it could also be a source of inspiration for other people where they could delegate their power to.
Absolutely, and that's a great idea, and I think people could definitely do that. The people who are willing to give out the delegations, almost not like an audition. I don't want to really call it that, but at least bring some information with you with what you're going to do with the delegation. And it's the same thing when people want to do the follow for follow, vote for vote thing. If you came to some people and you said, hey, I like to write about whatever topic, and this is what I do, and things like that, versus just saying, hey, go vote my post. The way you present yourself is so important, and especially when it comes to your, wanting delegation from people or wanting to network with anyone on Steemit. Don't just come at people and say, give me, that type of thing. Look to see what you can do to make a connection with that person and actually show what you're going to do with it. That type of thing. I completely agree with you there.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that there is some of those posts, especially on the but you can't stop it now with the growth of the platform. I mean, on all the Steam Fest posts, I had a gazillion of people saying, hey, great post, follow me, or something like that.
And that's okay. I mean, I don't want to discourage people from writing or something like that, but if you're going to put something out there, at least put a little bit of thought into it and try to make some kind of a connection with the person other than just, hey, vote for my post, or hey, nice post, or something. Actually, put something behind that. I feel like that's what's going to get you yourself more views to your blog, because if you're writing interesting things on Steemit, people are going to read that comment and probably go look at your blog. Maybe not. I mean, it's possible, but in my opinion, I would think they would. And that's what people really should strive to do on Steemit, is just kind of give that little extra mile of, doing more than just, hey, nice post, or something like that. Let's see here. Well, we're coming up on the top of the hour here. It is almost 6 o'clock on the east coast of the U.S. It should be about almost 11 o'clock UTC time. Let's see what the exact time is. Yeah, we got almost 2 minutes to go to the top of the hour. We're visiting with Rulin P right now. He is the organizer of Steamfest, so we're certainly glad to have him on the show. My name is Ma1neEvent. Hanging out with also Poetic Snake is here. Say hi, Snecky.
Hi, Snacky.
And lots of people joining us out in the MSP Waves audience chat room, as well as in the other places where you can hear the show. Thank you all so much for listening. Were there any other questions that we saw out there in the audience, Sneck? Did you notice any other specific questions for Roland, or do you have any yourself or anything? I couldn't catch the chat. I was trying to listen to what he was saying, so I didn't see the chat if there was other questions out there, but
I was listening to the words as well, and I can't read and listen at the same time, but I do have a question.
Sure.
I would like to know the meaning behind the clothes.
The meaning behind the clothes I was wearing? There was not really a meaning behind the clothes, but it's really funny because I get a lot of comments how people or Roland P, best dressed man, blah blah blah. It's not blah blah blah, but I mean, You should see me sitting right here, right now, in a pink. What's it called? What you wear on Sundays? I don't know. What's the name? What do you wear on Sundays? A bathrobe?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. I'm wearing my girlfriend's pink bathrobe,
Oh, nice.
and I mean, no, normally I don't. Well, I'm not like a fashion guy or something, but yeah, in this case, I thought Lisbon is a city where it's like, is it warm? It's warm, and I found this web shop which had, it's called the Party Outfits. It's actually Amsterdam. It's a web shop, but it's an Amsterdam collective, and they made I think in Indonesia, maybe in or maybe in Thailand even. I don't know. They ordered. They made a specific. They call it the party outfit. It's like a kind of a onesie suit, but then it's a two-piece, but it looks like a onesie because of the print. And they made it fitted. I tried one on. It was like a shirt and a shorts, and I really liked it. And then I said, okay, let me order the three, because they had three combo sets. And then, well, I was all set. It's like Mark Zuckerberg. He also wears the same all the time. And then in Amsterdam, obviously, I wore the tulip suit, but it was really hot. The tulip suit is made from plastic. But so yeah, I don't know what I should wear next year, but I guess I now have to come up with something special. Maybe Angry Bird suit or something.
Well, everybody seemed to enjoy it, so yeah, you'll have to come up with something big for Steamfest 3. All right. Were there any other questions for Ruland out there in the audience? If anybody else had any other questions, they all thought they needed to see you in the pink robe, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. But
there is an interview on YouTube somewhere with me. With what's the name? Like a coin interview. I think coin interview. It's about Steamfest 1 last year. Check out the coin interview on YouTube. And I think I'm wearing the same bathrobe, but it's like a YouTube interview with video stream. So I think then all the guys started to wear robes because they say, "Hey, you're wearing a robe. Oh, let me also get my robe." It's funny.
You were a trendsetter, I guess.
Trending, yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Let's see. See if anybody's.
Oh shit, Rico! No.
He's found it already. This is the power of the internet at work right here. Oh, that's funny. Well, Ruland, we really appreciate you joining us on the show tonight. So, are there any other things you want to mention to the audience out there, to anybody who might hear this show later on the recording? Just, you can either, it doesn't have to necessarily be about Steamfest, but just kind of Steam in general. Are there any, because a lot of the people who may hear this show are sometimes they're relatively newer users, because of course this is airing in the Minnow Support Project. So do you have any kind of words for anybody listening out there that you want to mention?
Yes, first of all, about Steamfest, and if you have been to Steamfest this year or last year, thanks for coming out. If you haven't, come on, people in the chat, this is distracting looking like that at the moment. If you haven't, I would suggest go to youtube.com/Steamfest. This is really ugly. /Steamfest. To check out this year's and last year's recordings to catch at least the talks. There is already from Tim Said. He made a great after movie to get more of the vibe surrounding the whole event and not only the talks. And there will be another sort of official after movie coming later this month, I guess. Because the photographer or cinematographer is currently on a holiday in his home country. And seeing that you are new on Steemit, if you are me now and really new on Steemit, I would suggest try to be there next year, but especially don't give up on Steemit too early, and write about your passion and join and engage in discussions on the people who write maybe about your passions, meet each other on this group, on other Discord groups like SteamSpeak maybe, and in Steemit chat, and try to meet up with your locals also, because meeting and getting some offline enjoys is, I think, the best one can do.
All right, wonderful. Gmux had one last question out there for you. It looks like, I don't know if you see that one out there. If you want to answer that one before you go, or if you need to get going, that's totally fine. But yeah, no, we really appreciate you being on the show tonight. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, the Hard Fork series. I mean, the trailer was looking really cool, right? I'm curious where it will go next, but I'm waiting for them. I'm actually in contact with them, or I should follow up on their requests. They were asking if I want to be involved somehow, so I don't know how, and maybe I'm now talking. Maybe I'm now saying things I shouldn't say, but now it's already recorded. So, but no. I really like the trailer, and I'm looking forward to wherever the project might go.
All right, cool. We really appreciate you being here with us tonight. Again, we're visiting with Roland P. We shared his Steam profile in the chat a few times. I'll put it in there one more time here so everybody can know where to find him on Steemit. And we really appreciate you being here tonight, Roland. Thank you so much.
Yes, thanks a lot for having me. Again, I'm going to tune in a couple more often. Is this also like a podcast? So can I join in through a podcast? Or?
Yes, absolutely. So I'll put this show. I usually share it to YouTube afterwards. So you can be listened to after the fact on there, and I'll try to do a Steemit post as well later this evening where it'll be linked to there. And yeah, absolutely, you can if you want to do a post and talk about it or anything like that, certainly go right ahead.
So I'm not per se mean this recording, but I mean any of these shows. Is it also like?
I think the radio station is working on that. There are some people who have shared their shows on the blockchain. As recordings on YouTube, I believe is what a lot of them are doing. Some of them are doing just audio as well. So if you look here in the Peace Abundance Liberty server, there is a channel. Where is it in here? Let me just find it really quick. It's called MSP Wave Show Archives, and I'll share that in the chat room here. And there's many of the shows have posted their things there for now. There isn't an official like podcast list or anything like that quite yet. It's still relatively new, but that room does have some of the different shows in there as well. So yeah, absolutely. All right, Roland. Well, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Yeah, I think for me it's bedtime. Our son will wake up pretty early. I guess it will be 3 a.m. in East Coast US time. So yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty late.
Thanks again for having me. And well, let's get that Steam to $2 or something.
Absolutely. Have a great evening, sir. Sneki, you want to say your goodbye?
Yes, wonderful to have you with us, Roland P. Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Sneki. Ciao.
Ciao, ciao.
All right, everybody. So that was our interview with Roland P. What did you think of that? That was wonderful. It was very enjoyable.
I enjoyed every word.
Absolutely. So he's certainly welcome to come back on the show anytime, and everybody will have to kind of keep an eye out for Steamfest 3 to see where that's going to be. So that'll be awesome. He did mention, if you're somebody who has gone to Steamfest, I think he's looking for feedback on how it went and where it could be next time. So certainly watch for that, and definitely keep an eye out for Steamfest 3. I hope it will be in the U.S. That's just my opinion. Snack, you probably would prefer it to be over in Europe again somewhere, but...
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, I would travel to the States for it, so...
Cool. Well, we'll have to wait and see. We'll wait in suspense of where it's going to be.
That's all we can do. And speculate. Speculating is always a good thing.
Yeah. So, let's see here. Let's take care of a little business while we can. Again, this is the Main Event Interview show. It airs on MSP Waves Radio as part of the Minnow Support Project. And we are here every Wednesday evening from 10 p.m. UTC to midnight. It's 5 to 7 Eastern Time. And if for some reason you missed the first part of the show, or for some reason you can't stay for the second hour, you can find it on my Steemit blog at Main Event. The name is right on the stream if you can't see that, or it's also in the chat rooms, of course. I will share a post later this evening that will have the show audio in there. So certainly if you're wanting to support the show and things like that, of course your re-steams and your comments and things like that are always really appreciated. It's wonderful to see, what you all think of the show. It's great to hear your feedback too. All right, so let's see here. Where is it? There it is. Of course, MSP Radio and its owners take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host or my guests. Statements and show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the radio station, and the material on this show is provided for educational and informational purposes only. It's completely all just our opinion. Always do your own research. And, we're just here to chat with people on Steemit. So we're happy to have you on the show sometime if you're interested. We've had people on the show from all over the world. We've had people who are new users, literally brand new. They've only been on for a week or so. And then we've had people on, like Rulin, who are planning Steamfest, So we've had people from all ends of the spectrum on the show. We're happy to hear your story, what you're doing with Steemit, and to help, kind of get the word out about how great this platform is. We all really love it. We're enjoying networking and meeting all the different people, and of course sharing our content, curating other people's content. It's really an amazing platform. Of course that's just my opinion. Sneck, I'm sure you have some similar feelings for Steemit.
I agree 100% with your words.
And lately there has been, it seems like, a lot of kind of what I would call drama on Steemit. People are getting flagged. People are going through some stuff right now. There's other issues out there that we know about, of course, but the core thing of Steemit, though, I feel like is fully intact. People are here, they're interacting, they're sharing their content, and for the most part, people are enjoying themselves. There's always going to be trolls out there. There's always going to be people causing trouble. There's always going to be people doing stuff they aren't supposed to. But we were talking about this earlier a little bit. Some people on social media or on the internet in general, they're kind of like a tornado. Wherever they go, they're just going to stir stuff up. So you got to just try your best to stay out of those people's way. Sometimes you get caught up in it. There's nothing you can do about it, but try your best to just get away from it. If you're somebody who's getting into something with anybody online, try not to take it personal and just try to move away from it is the only thing I can suggest.
Yeah, it's sometimes it's hard to do to not take things personally.
It is.
But
It is hard.
Just take a deep breath and just realize that it's just a few words on the internet, and
Yep, and
walk away.
Yep, and we were talking about this earlier also too. If you're somebody out there and you're using Steemit all the time, you're on Discord all the time, in Steemit chat all the time, you're gonna get burnt out. It's just natural. It's gonna happen. If you're on a computer all day long or on your phone all day long or whatever, it's probably not the best thing for you to be doing, in our opinion. So sometimes it's good to take a break. You might even need to not use it for a few days or something. Just kind of take a break, walk away from it for a little while, get some creative juices flowing in some way, whatever you like to do, whether that's to, if you need to go for a nature walk or whatever you need to do to kind of get some new inspiration or to kind of clear your mind or whatnot, just take it. Just like this isn't a job, Steemit, but some people could treat it that way with the amount of time that they put into it. And with any quote-unquote job, you need a break, you need a vacation, you need days off. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I would like to mention to everybody out there. If you're feeling kind of tired of Steemit or something like that, or you're feeling burnt out, take a little break. Just step away for a little while. It's okay. I mean, most of the people are still going to be here. Your blog's still going to be there. Your Steam Power will still be there. I saw somebody today. They were saying that they didn't have time for their Steemit blog, so they were just going to unload everything and just get rid of everything. And it's like, well, okay, I don't get that, but if you just don't have time, take a little break. I mean, your blog isn't going to go anywhere. I mean, granted, some people might unfollow you or something if you're inactive, but if you need to take a break, that's okay. I want people to really understand that. Like, they, I think some people get too much pressure on themselves for their blogs and things like that. And if you're not having fun, that's when it's time to probably take a break. If
Yeah, I
with
agree with you.
anything, and that's with anything in life, not even just social media or whatever. It's anything. If you got to always do things in moderation, and Steemit. I know when I first joined, I mean, and I can't say much because I'm still on here all the time, but I was on here even more when I first joined, and I got kind of tired after a while because I was just doing it too much, and some people probably do that a little bit, and it's okay to take a break, is I guess what I want to put out there.
Yeah, and I think that if you spend all your time here, you are going to take things seriously and serious and personal faster as well. So stepping back will also give you time to reflect on yourself and on the road you have been taking.
And again, I mean, like we saw, there was obviously other stuff going on. If people are attacking your posts and things like that, I don't know why that might be, but sometimes it seems like some of the people who are doing that, they have a little bit of reasoning behind it. I mean, granted, if they're just doing it to be mean, then there's no good in that. But at the same time, unfortunately, with the way the platform works, they have the right to do it. Whether it's good or bad or any of that, that's different, but they technically have the right to do it. And we all just have to be aware of that. And that's what's interesting about Steemit, is that there is that flexibility of that, because of course flags can be used to do a lot of things. I mean, it can take away rewards, it can lower reputations. It's not a good thing, but in my opinion, but other people will argue that it is a good thing. So with anything on Steemit, there's going to be two sides to every argument, and just try to just stick with the things that you're passionate about and try not to stress yourself out over other topics that you may or may not have any control over either, is the other thing. I mean, we aren't as the users here, we're not the developers. We can't change it. We can voice
No.
our opinions, of course, and try to get the word out about things we'd like to see changed. But unfortunately, the way it is right now, people can upvote you, they can downvote you. And that's just unfortunately how it is. And
Yeah, and I think that if you want to know more about that, or get more ideas of how things work or need to work, you should really read the white paper.
yes, we were going through that the other day, and I agree. If people, pretty much everybody should take the time to read it. I'm not sure how many people have. I mean, I haven't read it every single word yet. I'm still going through it, but the things I'm finding in there are very interesting. It kind of makes you look at the platform a little different because you're seeing it from the perspective of the people who created it. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
EternorX has a good point out there. He says, take a break and delegate. And I totally agree. That's what I told the person who was saying that they were going to sell off all their Steam Power and all this stuff just because they didn't have time for their blog. I said, well, why don't you just delegate it out? Then when you come back, you can trigger the thing to send it back after a week and, get it back. Because delegation is crucial. I mean, you and I were fortunate enough this week. We were mentioned in that post by Stella Bell, and we're grateful for that. We're very, very grateful for that.
Absolutely, again, yes, very grateful.
If anybody does consider delegating to us, we are grateful for that. And we both are people who are curators. We're not going to abuse that power. We're not going to be voting what people will call, I don't want to say it, but, bad posts. That's the word.
Bad posts.
Bad content plagiarism, spamming, that type of thing. I'm not going to be voting that type of stuff.
No, me neither. I seriously take the time to read posts. I don't always leave a comment. I would love to if I had the time to do that, but I vote like sometimes 200 times a day. So, I will never misuse that kind of power, and I think hardly anybody will. If anybody, trusts you with that kind of power, you will work for it.
And there's a bunch of them in the audience right now, which is awesome. Gmux is out there. Shane is out there. Lexiconical, who, he's saying that, they put a lot of work into finding, all of us and to putting the word out. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. No matter what, just being mentioned in that post was amazing. Being on that list was awesome.
Yeah, it brought a smile from ear to ear, I can tell you.
That list, and when I looked through that list, I actually knew a lot of the names. And so that made me feel really good too, because it's like, well, okay, not only are these the people who are kind of being featured right now, but I know a lot of these people. So it made me feel like I'm on the right path, that I'm interacting with the people who are genuine, that want to be here, and that are helping the platform in different capacities. Some are content creators, some are curators, some are community leaders, witnesses. There's people of all different backgrounds on there, and it's really amazing.
Yeah, and if I read it correct, I think there will be a follow-up list as well.
Oh, I'm sure it will probably grow, and they'll probably feature different people often. So we're definitely grateful to have been on that first one. I'm gonna find the post here. We can share it. But yeah, no, thank you so much to anybody out there listening who was involved in all of that. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for at least, noticing us and featuring all those wonderful Steemit community members, because they all do great things. So
absolutely, thank you for that.
That was the post. So yeah, there's a lot of names on there, and a lot of them are here tonight. So that's wonderful. Well, let's go ahead and move on with the show here. We've got about 40 minutes left. My name is Ma1neEvent. You're listening to the Ma1neEvent Interview show on MSP Waves. And it looks like Rico has joined us here in the voice chat. Rico, are you there? Not sure if you can hear us or not, but Rico, if you're there, go ahead and say hello. You might not be here quite yet, but whenever you're here, Rico, go ahead and jump right in if you can hear us out there. If not, we'll wait another moment here for him to get back. I just sent him a message. And if anyone out there in the audience or listening after would like to be on the show next week or on another episode, certainly send me a message through Discord or leave a comment on the latest radio show post that I've made. And we can certainly try to get you on the show. Again, as I mentioned, we're happy to have pretty much anybody on the show, as long as you're not going to come on here and make a fool of yourself or something, or talk bad about people or something. We don't want that. But, if you're here to just talk about what you think of Steemit and things like that, what you're doing on the project, on the platform with your projects or your blog or your witness or anything, we're certainly happy to hear from you. Rico, are you there?
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, I do hear you. How are you doing tonight?
Yeah, thank you. I'm doing great.
So you've been on the show before, but remind me where you are from.
Yeah, I'm from Sweden. I was, I don't know if it was the last show. I was in the end, just. I'm in Gothenburg, Sweden, so the west coast of Sweden to the south.
Okay, cool. I just turned up your volume a little bit. You might have been a little quiet to everybody, so I think I just turned it up. Let's see. Gmux is saying delete messages to me. No, I don't know what that's about. Rico, what's going on, man? Like, what's going on in your Steemit world?
Right now I'm playing poker, actually, but I'm really into the poker community here at the Steem blockchain. Yeah, I'm getting more and more active, and I really love this platform so much. It was kind of like love at first sight for me, because I'm really into gift economy, and I've been doing that like locally here in Gothenburg for a long time, like having hosting gift shops and gift circles, and I think it's designed by Dan to work as a gift economy, so it's really a perfect match for me.
Well, we're certainly glad to hear that. And so how long have you been on here now?
Well, I started my account in June, but I haven't really been active more than 3 months.
So, it's still relatively pretty new for you, but we're happy to hear you come back on the show and that you're still here. It's sometimes I wonder that. I have people on the show and it's like I don't know whether they'll still be here in 6 months or something. I hope I will be too, but it's great that you're still here. So you're still enjoying the platform?
I will be here for a long time. I'm very dedicated to this, and that's kind of been my strategy in life. I find the things that really is valuable for me, or that I feel is worth my time, and then I focus 100% on it. So before, I've been playing poker professionally most of my life. But the last 7 years, I've been focused more on health, actually, just learning how to be sustainable, both in health, but also with the environment. And it was actually last year I really made great progress with that. So I'm very happy with that. So I made a good, stable platform to start contributing more, and this platform, the Steem blockchain, is perfect for that, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's I've been certainly enjoying it as well, and so it's great to see the different ways people are utilizing it, and so it's cool that you've found something you enjoy and that's been a benefit to your life and things like that.
Yeah, definitely. For me, I'm trying to integrate it as much in my normal life as possible. For example, I dumpster dive, and I've been doing it for many years now, 6-7 years. So now I just take a little bit more pictures and just post it here, and it's been very well received. So it's quite nice. And now I actually get something except the gratitude from everyone that I'm helping. And of course, I'm helping myself as well at the same time. I don't have to buy anything from these stores that don't care anything about the people that are buying there. They just care about the dollar signs or profits, basically. It works really nice. So that's my advice for everyone. Try to integrate Steem in your life as much as possible and promote it in your network, because that creates some really cool synergetic effects if you have your friends and family and local support. Then you can do really cool stuff together.
Definitely. I need to do that more myself. I certainly need to try to get the word out. I'm going to try one of my New Year's resolutions, I think, is going to be to promote Steem a little bit. I want to promote Steemit, I should say, the website, and to try to get people onto the platform. I really want to try to tell people, locally that I know and things like that, and try to utilize the promo Steem thing that's kind of going on. There is a tag out there that's promo-Steem, and people are using that to show the ways that they're promoting the platform and things like that. And then they're getting more specific with it, promo-UK or promo-Canada or whatever in the countries that they're promoting Steemit in. So that's a pretty interesting thing that I know I want to try to get involved in. And yeah, I totally agree that sharing it with other people is probably going to be something that all of us kind of need to do eventually, because we want the platform to grow. I mean, it's still kind of going through some growing pains, so we probably, we may not want, 10 million users to join tomorrow, but we want it to slowly and steadily grow at a good pace and, see the community start to expand a bit.
So true, brother. I couldn't agree more. I mean, I just heard recently that actually Dan said the most important thing in the beginning is promoting the Steem blockchain. And I think it's not getting near enough the support it should be getting. And the Steem promo Steem tag, for example, I think was started with by Stephen Kendall and Starkers. think it's a great thing to coordinate. And actually, there's a project right now that is taking it to the next level, that are using these tags, but also we have a Discord channel where the newcomers can come in. We have mentors and promoters and curators. So it would really help, because a lot of people that are coming in is just lost in this vast amount of information and this clunky interface. And yeah, you know how it is. Everyone here knows how it is to start. And I had a really rough time, like really starting to become active. I joined in June, but it was so much to learn. So I just spent most of my time just reading, commenting on people's stuff, getting to know people, and just understand the whole system and how it works.
Absolutely. And I mean, of course, groups like the Minnow Support Project are out there. So if you're somebody listening and you're interested and you're looking for communities to join, you know, the Minnow Support Project is certainly absolutely one to join. And you said the group you were in was doing something to help promote Steam, right? Did you want to share that Discord or anything?
It's only for people that are
okay, that's fine, no problem. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if anybody's out there listening and you're looking for communities, they're out there. There's lots of them on Discord. I'm not sure how many people are doing things like that in the Steemit.chat, but I know for sure on Discord there's lots of different communities. And Minnow Support Project is one of them. That's where we're doing this show right now on MSP Waves. And, you know, this is a place where people can come in and network, ask questions, and interact with different Steemians. And, you know, promoting Steam is kind of a job that we all should do a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody has to go out there and, you know, hand out flyers and do all these things, but, you know, tell your mom, tell your brother, tell your cousin, tell your friend, your coworker, somebody like that, you know, somebody local that you can, you know, if they have questions, you can answer them for them, you know, like if they say, well, how do I post a picture, or how do I, you know, do these basic things, you know, you can be there to kind of help them and maybe even walk them through it, you know, walk them through the sign up process and doing their intro post and things like that. You know, nobody did that for me. I had no idea what I was doing when I first joined. I first joined and I did like 2 or 3 posts and I tagged them all, introduce yourself, because I thought that's what you were supposed to do on the platform. I thought you just used that tag if you were new. And boy, was I wrong. So, you know, there is a big learning curve, like you said. And so, you know, new users certainly seek out these communities is what I'm suggesting for people, you know. And of course, this is all just our opinion, you know, do your own research, all these things. We are not experts of anything. So don't take our advice, do your own research. But in my opinion, I had a great experience joining the Minnow Support Project and all of these other communities, and to help me just learn and network and socialize.
Yeah. I think like the thing I've been focused now is like word of mouth promotions. So I've been just inviting people in my life that I think is a good match to the Steam blockchain. And I think one important thing that you have to do is just sit down with them and show them your blog and do the first post together. I think that's a very good thing to do, because then they get to learn the interface and they don't have to like, what markdown, like what is that? And yeah, so many questions. And you learn a lot as well if you introduce people and you sit down with them, because they ask questions that are very like, I learn a lot like every day. I just learned yesterday that how the voting power system works. I thought it was like it recharged slower if you were lower on voting power, but that was wrong. So yeah, so much to learn.
Absolutely, yes. Well, Rico, was there any other things you wanted to mention to the audience or anything like that? It's certainly great to have you on the show again to hop on and say hello, but I didn't know if there's any other things you wanted to mention or anything.
I just wanted to talk a little bit about the poker community, because I think it's a really good thing for the Steam blockchain. It's like poker is like 100 million users worldwide, or people playing poker. So it's a huge game, if not the biggest one in the world. So, and it's a great community. So I think it's a really good thing to support, and check it out if you like to have fun with other Steemians. There are some really great people like Lexiconical and Jon Snow, for example. So it's a very nice initiative, and it's very close to my heart, poker, as I've been living by it my whole life. So yeah,
Cool.
I think that's it.
All right.
It's
Well,
a pleasure to be here and an honor.
yeah, absolutely. You know, anytime you want to jump on and say hello, certainly let us know. We appreciate you doing that, and you know, we'll keep an eye out for your blog and all the things that you're doing out there.
Cool. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Rico. Have a great evening, sir.
Bye, everyone. I'll be in the chat, though.
All right. Thank you. Really appreciate you being here. Well, let's see if anybody has any last-minute questions for Rico before he goes. Certainly ask away. Sneck, are you back? I know you had to step away for a second, so I didn't know if you were still here or not.
Yes, I'm back again.
I'm just making sure you're here. Okay.
I'm still alive.
But yeah, if anybody has any last-minute questions for Rico, he shared his most recent well, maybe not his most recent, but one of his blog posts there where he's doing his word-of-mouth campaign. You know, introducing people to Steemit, which I think is really great. And like he said, he's a poker player, so that's something else he likes to do on the Steam communities and things like that. So, you know, if that's anything you're interested in, I'm sure his blog might have some stuff about that. But you know, of course, take your own risks. I'm not a gambler, so I don't know how any of that works. But you know,
I like a good game of poker.
I'm not a poker player, so I don't know how any of that stuff works. But I'm sure you know, you might have some stuff on your blog, or people can find that on their own. I'm sure if they want. You know, do your own research, folks. Is all I'm gonna say. You know, we're not condoning or promoting anything here. You know, but you know, do what you got to do. But Rico, we're certainly glad to have you on the show, sir. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Hello?
Are you still there? Yeah. I was just saying thank you so much for being on the show.
It's free to play, so you don't risk anything.
Oh, okay, great. That's good to know. I wasn't sure how any of that worked. I can remember people playing poker years ago and things, and I've always heard about people losing stuff, so I wasn't sure how that worked. But you know, I've never really played much, so I don't know how that works. But we appreciate you letting us know. Thank you.
Through the postings about the tournament, so it's really cool thing, I think.
Cool. Well, we'll certainly keep an eye open for that. And you know, again, we do agree that, you know, some word of mouth talking about Steemit to different people is something we all should probably try to do a little more as people on Steemit. Just kind of get the word out about it. I've been trying to reach out to different people that are on other platforms like YouTube and things like that, people who are creating content and just saying, hey, you know, have you ever heard about this platform and things like that. And so anything we can all do to try to just spread the word about Steemit, that it's out there, and if people are interested in it, they can certainly check it out, you know. And of course, that's just, you know, as always with anything like this, you know, we are not financial experts. We are not experts of anything. So this is all just our opinion, but we love it here. We enjoy this community, and we would like to see more people here. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I have two more things that I'm gonna do coming up, like in the next week. I'm gonna do some street art, because the post I invited this guy that is a street artist, so we're gonna go out and just tag the whole town with Steam logos and some cool Christmas stuff, and some good taglines like to sell Steam. So if you have any good advice on like what explains Steam blockchain in a short and like powerful way, you can always send me a message. And also you can send me a message if you have new people that you have invited or need help, and I will invite them to this Discord channel that I was talking about, the Promo Steam Discord.
Cool. Well, I'm certainly interested, so you can send it to me if you want. But you know, definitely I'll keep an eye out for people who are promoting Steemit a lot and things in my curation and things like that. So, you know, I'll definitely keep you in the loop on that if I find anybody.
Thank you.
All right. Well, again, that is Rico. He spells it R-E-K-O on Steemit. You can find him on there. And again, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
All right. Well, That was Rico. He's joined us tonight. And up next, let's see. I have a couple people waiting in the wings here. So let's see if they are still wanting to jump on. I'm waiting for one. So actually, that one hasn't responded yet. So let's get the other on here.
Who shall it be? Dum, 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 dum.
Again, everybody, you're listening to the Main Event Interview Show here on MSP Waves. That's my name, Main Event, on Steemit. I just spell it with the number 1 instead of an I in there because I was kind of silly and foolish when I signed up for Steemit, and I had no idea what I was doing. So I used an old gamer tag that I had. So there it is, Main Event. And, of course, I'm here with Poetic Snake.
Good evening.
If you're looking to how to spell our Steemit names, you can see it right on the stream, or of course you see how it is right in Discord. We spell our names the same, and you can find us on Steemit. Snecky is an artist. She posts lots of amazing content. I try to do. I'm doing mostly these radio shows, and I've started doing a curation live stream actually on my Twitch channel, so keep an eye out for that. It's a chance for people to kind of share their posts, talk about them a little bit, and I kind of curate them live, and we do a live discussion just through the Twitch channel and things like that, and it's a lot of fun, so you can find out more about that on my blog. Snecky, of course, is doing the Dolphin Cocoon community, which is a community for more, I don't want to call them more experienced Steemians, but the people who've kind of been here for a while, they've got their higher reps, they've got some more Steam power. They're just kind of looking to network with other people who have been on the platform for a while. And of course, they're still supporting the new users and everything like that, but that specific community is kind of a place for more of the veteran Steemians to kind of come together is on that one, so which is a great thing. Let's see here. We're waiting for our next guest to jump in here. He should be able to get in here. I sent him the thing. Let's see here. He should be able to get in here. Hopefully we're not having any other connection issues. We've got about 20 minutes left of the show here. We're starting to wind things down. If you've enjoyed the show, thank you so much. All right. You've made it. Can you hear us?
Saipan.
Saipan, are you there?
I'm here. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Yeah, it's been a good day. A little frustrating because I was trying to get this post out and my computer is so old and it's just, oh man. But I finally managed to get a post out, so I'm happy now.
First world troubles, right?
Yeah, seriously though.
Well, we're happy to have you here, sir. You've been on the show before, but just remind everybody where you're from. Where are you this evening?
I'm in Utah right now.
All right, cool. And so you've now been on Steemit for how long?
I'm closing out my second month this week, actually.
That's amazing. And so you've come a long way in 2 months. I always sing your praises all the time because in 2 months you've done what took me almost 6 months to do. You're becoming well known in the community. People seem to enjoy you in the chat and everything on PAL. You're creating content. You're doing a great job on Steemit so far. I will say.
Thank you so much. I honestly would not be where I am today if I hadn't joined MSP. So thank you, Gmux, for sending me over here.
Absolutely. I mean, this Minnow Support project is a great community. If anybody is listening out there and you've never joined yet, we are on Discord. It's in the Peace, Abundance, Liberty server. So you can look for that. And within that is the Minnow Support project. Of course, was created by Agrode. There's now over 5,000 members in there, I believe. And it's a great place for everybody just to kind of come together and chat, to network. You can ask questions, things like that. As long as you're civil and friendly with people, you're welcome to be here. So it's great to have people like you come in who actually take the time to chat with everybody and interact. And it's great to have you for sure.
So my post actually, while we're on this subject, that's kind of like what my post was about today. Because last night actually, Peachy Mod invited me to become a greeter officially for MSP, and so I'm pretty happy about that. I was ecstatic.
Well, congratulations. I kind of had an inside knowing that that was going to happen, but I'm happy that you certainly that happened, and you're doing a good job already of welcoming new minnows into the group and everything. I've seen it, so it's great to have you, and it's good to see you stepping up and taking on a role like that.
Thank you. Yeah, I just, it just made sense to me when she made the offer, because like you said, I had already kind of been doing stuff like that already just on my own. And when she asked me about it, it kind of came at a perfect time, because I was already considering, like, what are some ways that I can become more active in MSP and take a more active role as a member of the community here. So, and I think it's just a perfect role for me to start out with. And I love bringing people to MSP and greeting them. So yeah, it's cool.
And you were saying one time that you're actively like recruiting your friends and things like that to join Steemit, right?
I am, yeah.
Yeah, that's really awesome. I mean, I personally haven't even done that yet. So I mean, there you go. That's just another thing that you're doing that, is great as a new user is you're bringing your friends and other people on so you guys can all kind of learn and experience all this stuff at the same time, which I think is really great.
Absolutely. I actually like, so this week actually I've been so happy because I brought two of my friends over. They just joined Steemit this past week. And they're both in MSP now as well, but both of their first posts have made over $20, I think, in their first week. And so I'm so happy for both of them. Like, that's a kind of initial success that I wish everybody could see, so they could see like the potential for earning. Like, it's rough sometimes, because sometimes when you see something like that at the start, you kind of get into a mindset of, oh yeah, all my posts are going to do great now because my first post like blew up. But it, like, in my case, when that kind of happened to me with two of my posts in my first week, I knew that I should never expect that that's going to happen like on a normal basis. It was just nice to have that happen, so that in the slower periods, when the next few posts that I made were only making a few cents, it was a good like motivating factor to keep me going, because it was always in the back of my head, like, oh well, even if these posts aren't doing so well, I know for a fact that it is possible to do well. I just have to keep on trying and keep on posting and keep on sharing what I'm passionate with, and one of these days my posts will do well.
Yep, absolutely. And I mean, again, the money thing, it's tough because we all want to earn some rewards, right? Of course we do, but people should try to remember that there is a lot more to this than the rewards. There's the community aspect of it. There's just the ability to share your content out there and get some feedback, and where people can actually enjoy it and things. And so, the rewards are great, and that's wonderful, but people should definitely stick around and want to use the platform for the community aspect of it, the blog sharing aspect of it. And, I worry sometimes that new users don't know those things right out of the gate. They're, like you said, they're more focused on the rewards. They're worried, oh, I have to make all this money or something, and it's not necessarily how it's going to be. So, people, it'd be nice if there was a way to kind of get that mindset across to people right out of the gate when they first join, that, hey, you can earn some rewards. It is possible, but this community and all these other things that you can do will be here no matter what. And that's really kind of a big part of it. So, but yeah, no, I agree with what you're saying, and it's great that you're bringing new people onto the platform. That if you become a greeter in Minnow support, these are all good things, and I definitely wish you success in that.
Thank you.
Are there any other things you want to mention to the audience that you have planned with your blog or anything like that you want to, any shout outs you want to give, anything like that? I forgot. I should have gave the other people a chance to do some shout outs, but if you want to do some, go right ahead.
I want to shout out my fellow new greeter, Stacy Jean. We both got invited to be greeters, and I think it's also a perfect role for her just because of how friendly she is and how much she has this genuine desire to help other people as well. I think that's just a super important thing to have. And she actually just made a post herself today also on becoming a greeter. So go and check that out, guys.
Absolutely. Well, we really appreciate you taking the time to jump on the show for a few minutes, Saipan. We're starting to wind things down here. We've only got about 10 minutes left, but again, if anybody's got questions for Saipan or if you want to say hello to him, I'm sure you'll be seeing him even more in the Minnow Support Project chats as he'll be welcoming some new users as they join. But certainly, and Stace as well. Thank you to both of you for volunteering to do that. It's always great to see people, like you said, kind of getting more involved and things like that, because networking here is going to go far for everybody who wants to help out. Everybody can always help out in different ways. So it's good to see that. Let's see. So, Saipan, we'll probably say goodbye if that's okay, but if you got any other parting words you want to give before you say goodbye, or Snek, did you have anything else you wanted to ask Saipan or say to Saipan before he heads out?
Oh, I just want to say congratulations on becoming a greeter, also to Stace, and I think you both do a wonderful job.
Thank you so much. I guess the last thing I just have to say is if there are any new minnows out there who are listening, if you've been struggling to kind of see the kind of success that you want to see on Steemit, get more involved in the Minnow Support Project. Hang around in the chats and get to know other people and let us get to know who you are and make some real friends and we'll follow you and we'll help support you with your dream, but we got to know who you are first. So,
yep, absolutely, well said. So again, he's Saipan Damashi in the chat, but he's what's your Steemit name again?
It's Rodeo670.
We might have to make you change that in the chat, so then everybody can find you. Then they can find you on Steemit. See, networking. You got to brand yourself here. But yeah,
Sevo said.
Go ahead.
Sevo said he wants me to speak some Dutch because I'm currently studying Dutch. So,
well, you and Snek could probably talk.
Absolutely.
I'll just say like the most basic thing I know how to say. Ik ben een man.
You sure are.
All right, you got to tell me at least what it means.
I said I am a man.
That's awesome. Well, all right, Saipan, thank you so much for joining us on the show. Again, that's Rodeo670 on Steemit. And again, you'll see him around with Stace as a new greeter here in Minnow Support Project. Thank you so much for joining us on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, anytime. All right, so that was Saipan. I wanted to get him on the show to at least congratulate him on becoming a greeter. Thank you so much, Saipan, for joining us. We had one more person who was possibly going to jump on the show. I don't know if she's still here or if she's got time, but I just sent the link. So she might jump on, she may not. Snek, if you can keep an eye on to see if anybody joins our voice channel here, that would be great.
I can do that, absolutely.
And everybody else, thank you so much for tuning into the show this week. It's been a lot of fun. We've, of course, first visited with Rulin P for over an hour. He is the organizer of Steamfest, so we talked a lot about that and got to know him a little bit better. That was a lot of fun. Rico joined us on the show for a bit and told us about some of the things he's been doing. And then Rodeo joined us, Saipan. So we're thankful to have all of them on the show tonight. Of course, my name is Ma1neEvent. I'm hanging out here with Poetic Snake. What have you thought of the show so far tonight, Snecky?
I think it has been amazing already. absolutely loved every single guest.
Yes, it's certainly been a lot of fun. We're certainly glad to be here with you. We're here every Wednesday here on MSP Waves. The show is from 5 to 7 Eastern Standard Time or 10 to midnight UTC time. If you want to listen to the show live, I will, of course, share this on my Steemit blog after the show. So if you're enjoying the show and you'd like to show some support, you can certainly check out the blog afterwards. Give it a re-steam if you'd like, or leave some comments. That's always well appreciated, so thank you so much for those. And if you're interested in being on the show sometime, you can certainly send me a message. Of course, we try to give preference to people who haven't been on the show yet, but we usually have a little bit of extra time in the second hour, so we are welcome to have you on again if you've already been on the show once, if you got a new project or things of that nature. If you're wanting to just kind of talk about your blog, certainly keep an eye on my Steemit profile because I am doing curation live streams now. I have my own Twitch channel, which I'm doing that on. It's just a Twitch TV channel at Ma1neEvent, same username. You can follow that channel if you're interested, and I'm doing curation live streams now. So we're going to kind of chat along with people who are sharing their blog posts. And, these are similar to the other things like Shadow's Pub is doing a great one with the Pimp Your Post Thursdays. Whale Shares does a great curation chat, so it's sort of similar to those, but a little different. I'm doing it as kind of a video live stream where I am showing the post and things of that nature, and I'm kind of not doing it at the same time every week either, so it's kind of random. That way we'll catch different people at different times. But yeah, just keep an eye on my Steemit blog at Ma1neEvent or follow the Twitch channel if you're interested in taking part in those. And of course, anybody's welcome as long as you're posting original content. That's the main thing. Can't be copy pasta, no plagiarism, none of that stuff. But yeah.
Ma1neEvent.
Yes.
Our last guest has arrived.
Wandering Rose, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful. It's great to have you on the show here for these last few minutes.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me. I think I was in the wrong place at the wrong time. You know how that goes.
Oh, it's okay. We'll certainly get you on the show for a longer period of time for sure. We're going to have to plan this out in advance and do like the full interview. You know what I mean?
Ooh, that's intimidating.
Oh, you can handle it. I know you can. Do you have any things you've been working on lately, Wandering Rose, that you want to share with the audience out there?
I've actually got my hand in a couple of pies right now. I am jumping in with Poet with her Dolphin Cocoon project. So when and if she needs me, she knows where to find me.
I sure will.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm also working with, I've spoken about her a number of times since I got into the Free Write project, but Marion West, who is, in my opinion, an up-and-coming minnow, who I was able to do a stand-in the Shane show and win a delegation of 500 SP for her a week or two ago. She and I were chatting today for the first time on Discord, and I've always got some ideas going on in my head because I love recognizing people's natural skills here and pointing them in the right direction and giving whatever support that I can. And so we're talking about maybe doing a free write radio show. I'm not quite sure how or when that's going to come to be, but she's looking around for support on that. And then we were thinking of maybe reading some of the better free writes on that radio show. So that's kind of what's up and coming for me. And her and I are going to meet tomorrow on Skype and hash out some of the details and see about the plausibilities of it.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like a really cool project. So we'll certainly have to keep an eye out for that. And what is your actual Steemit name, Wandering?
My Steemit name is Wandern Rose 7. Okay. So it's WANDRNROSE and the number 7.
Okay. I'm going to pull that up right now. We'll share that in the chat room. Okay.
Thank you for pimping my page.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Discordian changed my name today. He thought my Discord name need to go from the peach back to the rose, so he gave me a nice little screen name today.
All right. Well, that's good to know. People change their names on Discord a lot, so I never know. I got to try to do some research to find their Steemit names. So,
I'm not skilled enough to know how to do all that myself, but it does magically appear sometimes.
and just so everybody knows, I got the green light from Rondon, so we're gonna go a few minutes extra here. We were coming up to the top of the hour, so so I don't have to rush you out the door wandering. We're gonna go a couple minutes overtime here, so really appreciate you taking the time to join us. Now, what else are you doing with your Steemit blog, or what brought you here? Do you want to talk about some of that with us?
Well, what brought me to Steemit was I was previously on the app called Rabadaba. Never really could figure out why they named it such, but it was supposed to be the next Facebook, kind of like everybody who creates a blogging site is hoping to be the next Facebook or the replacement of it. And that's what their intentions were. And they started off by paying members. A decent amount of change to post quality content. It was more photo based. And because I like to write, I would impose my photos onto my poetry onto my photos. And so I shared a lot of that, but I found myself, just in order to make a little bit of income from the site, posting hundreds of photographs of my cat and the outdoors and flowers and trees and what have you. And all that's fine and good, but it really wasn't a social app, in my opinion. We had private chat rooms on the app after they developed that capability, but it definitely wasn't anywhere up near the scale of what I find in Discord in conjunction with Steemit. They may be separate, but they're definitely integral in my opinion. And so I was looking for community. I was looking for like-minded writers, artists, things like that I could connect with in a real way. And when I came on here, just like you, I was lost in space. My first post, if you go way back to the very beginning of my profile, you're going to find this horrible mess because I couldn't edit it. I had no idea what I was doing. I didn't know anything about Markdown. I had trained myself years and years ago on HTML, but for God's sakes, I came on and I was just completely flabbergasted. I was invited by a friend of mine from India. His name on Steemit is Burju Danik, and he messaged me on Facebook, having previously been friends of mine on the Rabadaba app, and he says, "You need to try this." He says, "Go ahead, register. You're going to have to wait until they approve you." He says, "But go on here because a lot of people are doing a lot of good things on here, and I know you can make a go of it." So that's how I showed up here. And my goal was, when I first came on, poetry and photography. I was going to limit it to that, but I found being on Steemit has inspired me to go above and beyond, go back into my art some, play more with my fiction, which I've always seemed to be a little more intimidated by writing full stories and things like that. But there's so many people on here with contests and producing art and poetry and the mixture of all three that I'm like, oh, I have to get in here. I just have to get in here.
Well, we're certainly happy to have you here.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, I am having a blast, guys, and I got to meet wonderful people like you two, and Gmux and Agrud and Shane and Crimson, and it's just, you people have become such an important part of my life. I come home, I can't wait to open up my phone and check it out. I sneak on during work on my breaks to see what's happening, and then I have to close it because I know better, because I'm really too busy to do it there.
Well, we're certainly happy to have you here. I think you've been well received into the community and everything, so definitely we hope you stick around for a while. We're definitely glad you're here.
Well, let me tell you, I've been here since June, and it was slow going at first. The first couple of weeks, I kind of backed off completely when I couldn't make my post work for me, and threw down the towel until I got a little more courage and came back and did it. But I've been growing slowly since I started. I was surprised early on with a 500 delegation from one of the radio shows, and then I was completely surprised and humbled by being the third MAM winner, Make a Minnow. And that really was what got me pushed into curating and reading a whole lot more, because I wanted to use that delegation to help other people. And in doing that, I networked with a whole lot more people. And so I'm just coming right along. And I checked my profile today. I was up to 1,025 followers on my profile. That in itself is mind-blowing. I know that not everybody's active on it, and I haven't gone through and culled anybody that's not active, but I'm sure I've got at least 800 that are solidly still on the platform. So that is a great accomplishment. And the other thing that I'm watching slowly here is building up my own steam power. I had delegated for the longest time a friend on here, Underground, who is just like quietly helping people as he sees fit by delegating steam power of his own. So I've had a slider since he gave me his 300 some time ago. And now I'm waiting to see how my own steam power is going to hit that 500 mark, and I'm going to be in there all by myself, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I was fortunate also to get some delegation early in my Steemit career, so I had a slider, pretty early as well, and that's a crucial thing. That is one thing I hope they change eventually, is lowering the standard for getting the voting slider. Like, 500 steam power is way too much, I think. It should be maybe 50 steam power or 100 or something. But yeah, I mean, delegation, and it's interesting that you say that, because I think the next project that I'm going to start is creating something for people who have received delegation before to kind of tell their experience of how it changed their Steemit career, just to kind of maybe encourage some more people to delegate and things like that. Some of the people who have a lot of steam power and they're either just sitting on it, or they don't really even do a whole lot with it maybe, or something, or they're looking for people to share it with. Getting the word out about how delegations are changing people's Steemit careers, I think, could be something useful. So that might be something I might work on, because hearing your story, and I know my own as well, delegations are pretty important.
I can't agree with you more. And I think that alone is a lot of encouragement for new people who are coming in. There are a lot of very, very talented people who are coming onto the platform. And as we both are aware, they come in, they put some hard work into a post, and they just fall flat. And then they think, I'm wasting my time. And I don't want them to feel that way, because I see so much creativity that is just sitting there. So I'll go and I'll re-steam a post, and I'll encourage them, and I'll drop the link to Discord when I'm able to do this. And I'll just say, hey, come on in. And the other day after your show, I did what you were talking about. I went directly onto the intro posts, and I found a couple of really good posts, and I put the Discord link in there, and I said, please come in. Within 10 minutes, there was 2 users dropped in there asking questions, asking for help. And that's really the pool that we need to focus on, is the noobs that are coming in and don't know where to go, don't know what to do. People like you and me, we fumbled around for how long before we actually found a home here in Discord. And it just doesn't seem to be a fast enough channel to get people. And even if it's not in Discord, there's all the other channels that are going on with like whale shares and what have you, and what is it, MAP. Those ones are all doing something similar, grabbing up people who are skilled and who can write and create decent posts and getting them in there and supporting them. Somehow, maybe the app itself should have some kind of, pointer. Hey, these are some places that you might want to jump in. And isn't it that there's like Steam Chat on the actual menu or something like that?
Yeah, there's a Steemit.chat is the name of it. I used it quite a bit when I first joined, and then I kind of didn't for a while because I jumped into Discord so hard. But now that I understand Discord and I know what I got going on in there, I actually have navigated back to Steemit Chat lately, this last week or so, and it's kind of different. I mean, there's not a whole lot of people in there, it seems like, but the ones that are there are some of the people who have been on Steemit for a little while, so it's kind of an interesting experience going over there. But yeah, I agree that these communities are crucial, and if people could find them early in their experience with Steemit, it would certainly help them a lot.
I have never personally been over to Steemit Chat. So maybe that's something when I get some extra time, I'll go and muddle around in there and meet some people.
Yeah, and it's because it's the one that you see right on the Steemit website. So I mean, it is only kind of natural to want to go to that one, but it just seems like Discord has sort of taken over. It seems like it's just got more features, and it's just got more going on. So maybe someday Steemit.chat will get upgraded and get different features or something of that effect. But seems like right now everybody's more or less in Discord, it seems. But yeah, there's definitely a few people there.
Do they have any voice chat? Sorry, I didn't mean to
No, not that I've seen anyway. I don't believe so. It's all just text.
Well, the funny thing for me is I'm not a chatter. I got rid of all my chat features like Yahoo and AOL and all that stuff, and I felt like chat was a waste of my time. When it comes to just socializing chat, I don't. I didn't really Facebook chat much. I limit that. But in this instance, with this platform, the networking, I believe, is like super integral to your growth here, because you're not going to find what your real passion is. You're not going to really find your people without finding a way to get on and start talking to people and networking and finding out what you can do, or how about you've got a ton of skills, but you just don't know what to do with it or if anybody needs it. So when you come in here and start talking just in the general, like the general chats, the deep end, whatever, you start hearing people talk and they start talking about their needs. And then you can go, oh, well, go here, or I'm doing this and this helped me. And that's the kind of stuff that this particular chat satisfies my overall goal, which is to develop my writing, to develop my skills, and to network here.
Absolutely. Well, Wandering Rose, we're like 11 minutes into overtime here, but we're certainly happy that we have the opportunity to have you on the show. Are there any other parting words or any other things you want to mention while you're here?
I want to take my hat off to you and to what you're doing with your Twitch channel and to your interviews. I've listened to them since you started posting them on Steemit. Got me interested in the radio channels, and also the MSP Waves radio shows. Those people are amazing, and I am so thankful also for all that skill and all that talent that you guys are offering up to people like us who need it.
Well, I thank you, and I know that the rest of the crew appreciates hearing those kind words as well. They work hard to put together good content and good radio shows, and there's a lot of work that's done behind the scenes by people like Globocop and Rondon, UniWisp, and everybody else involved. So, yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for those kind words, and we'll certainly keep an eye on your blog, and we'll follow what you're doing on Steemit.
Thank you very much, and I hope you all have a wonderful night.
Yes, thank you so much, Wanderin. Have a great evening. Sneck, do you want to say your goodbyes?
Yes, thank you for being with us, Wandering Rose.
You're welcome, and thanks for having me.
Anytime. Have a great evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
All right, everybody. So that was Wanderin' Rose 7 is her official Steemit username. So you can certainly find her on Steemit if you're interested. And Poetic Snake, are you still here with me?
I am still here, yes.
All right, well, we're going to wind things down here. Are there any final words you want to say to the audience out there, Snecky?
I want to thank everybody for listening and joining with us.
Yes, thank you for always joining me here on the show. And again, yeah, I want to give a shout out too as well to Rondon, to Globocop, UniWisp, Cubby Elizabeth's been doing a lot for the station. Everybody who does stuff for the station. Jesse's out there, I know he does a lot. Everybody who is involved with the MSP Waves radio station. Thank you all so much for all the work that you do, for creating a platform for us to even do this show. Thank you so much for that. Of course, shout out to Agrode and everybody in the Minnow Support Project, all the moderators that do such a great job of keeping the chats going and everything on there, all the witnesses that are involved with MSP, and of course, thank you to what everybody does out there. We all play our part, right? When it comes to Steemit, we all do our part, whether we're creators, whether we're curators, witnesses, moderators, whatever it is we do, we all try to help out in any way we can. So I'm certainly grateful to be here. This is a wonderful platform, and I hope that it continues to grow and that we are all here for a long time. That's what I certainly want to say. Of course, we have to say MSP Waves Radio and its owners take no responsibility for the opinions or statements made by the talk show host, which is me or my guests. Statements and show topics are not necessarily the beliefs of the radio station, and the material on this show is provided for educational and informational purposes only. Of course, do your own research. We are not financial experts of any form or fashion whatsoever, so don't take our advice. Do your own research and all of that good stuff. So we're just here to talk about our love for Steemit and hear all the different stories.
Maybe you can shout out Cubby just one more time. She just arrived and missed your shout out.
Cubby, I said thank you so much for all that you do. You do a great job promoting all the different shows for the radio station, and of course you're doing your own shows now as well, so thank you so much, Cubby. Appreciate it. All right. Well, Rondon, if you're out there listening, I think we're going to wind things down here. So again, thank you all so much for listening to the show. This show does air every Wednesday night. It's normally just from 5 to 7. We went a little bit overtime this week. It's normally 10 to midnight UTC time. So thank you all so much for listening. I will be posting this on my Steemit blog at Ma1neEvent right after the show, about an hour from now. So if you want to support the show, you can certainly check out those posts and show them some love if you'd like to do that. Of course, no pressure, but we appreciate it. Any of the MSP Waves radio shows, certainly check them out. You can find the full listing at mspwaves.com. Of course, shout out to the Minnow Support Project. You can find them on Discord, Peace Abundance Liberty server. And, we're doing a lot here. Sneck's got her Dolphin Cocoon project she's working on. I'm doing curation. Again, keep an eye out for my live streams on my Twitch channel. I've shared the links to that on my Steemit profile in a few different posts, so keep an eye out for those. I am a curator for OCD, MuxieBot, and Minnow Support. Sneck, you do a lot as well on the platform. We're trying to do what we can here to help out and just kind of be a part of the community, and we appreciate all the support that you give us. It's wonderful. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And again, everything you hear on this show is just our opinion, of course, but, we're happy to have you listening. Thank you so much. So we're going to sign off for this week. This is the Ma1neEvent Interview Show here on MSP Waves. Have a great evening, everybody. We're going to say goodnight.